Today, I'm talking with my buddy Tim, who jumped back into parking lot striping after 17 years, and somehow the universe handed him the perfect job right when he started thinking about it. So let's hear how it all came together, how the job went, what they charged, and at the end, let me know how much you would have charged for this job. The big question, after 17 years out of the game, did Tim remember how to price it? Did he overprice it? Did he underprice it? Let us know. Okay, Tim, so tell us how you first got involved in parking lot striping.
So about 16 or 17 years ago, I worked for a guy who did parking lot striping for the Oakland airports and like parking garages and for the shuttles and stuff. And it was usually a night gig, and if you signed up to go, you made a little more money per hour, so of course your boy was going. It was actually fun, and myself, I didn't do much of the actual striping. Now, I was basically in charge of snapping lines, layout, painting curbs, and parking block.
So what made you start thinking about doing striping again after all of these years?
A few weeks back, me and my partner Kenny, friend of mine who've been painting with for just about ever, we were kind of reminiscing about how we used to do that and how satisfying it was and how much money was being tossed around during that time. And we figured that we could approach the guy who hired our old boss and see if he'd be willing to give us a shot. See, the thing is, he lives locally and I see him driving around from time to time, but it's been 17 years since we did a parking lot striping job. So I thought maybe we should try to get a couple under our belt before we approach him.
That is wild timing, and now you obviously have experience, but if you were starting completely over, you would probably want to think about some sort of training to shortcut the learning curve, right? And if we're talking about line striping, definitely check out How to Stripe. This is the most extensive, in-depth training on how to start a line striping business, from the equipment, the paint, troubleshooting, layouts, ADA compliance, everything that you could possibly encounter on any job we cover in this training program. And you also get your line striping certification upon completion. So if you're interested in that, if you want to learn quickly, if you want to, cut the learning curve, check it out. There's a link down below. Now, Tim, tell me, how did your first job come about?
Now, the universe, it works in crazy ways, right? Because we had just started talking about this, and I took on a super small, so let me back up. So I took on a super small project to keep one of my guys busy. Now, I normally would have passed on such a small job, but it was local, it was for a church, and they were in a time crunch and they really needed somebody. So I was like, hey, I got a guy who would normally have a day off, so I sent him over there to do the job.
Okay, so then what happened after that small job?
So once he completed the job, me and the pastor got to talking, and they were saying how they were in a pinch because of some recent construction that they can't get signed off. They can't get the permit signed off until the parking lot is ADA compliant. And I was so surprised because it hadn't been more than a week since we started thinking about doing a striping job. Like, how can we get a striping job? And then one just fell in my lap. It's almost like I manifested it. And I hate saying stuff like that, but it really seems like that's what happened.
So what was your plan once you landed that job?
So first step of the plan is complete, get the job, right? Step 2, get the footage, before and after pics. That way I can run some ads. And then step 3, run some ads. Now, I'm going to try to get one more job, and then we're going to approach Mr. Parking Lot Man.
Okay, so now can you tell us what kind of things that you learned while doing this first job?
I learned a lot on this job about the ADA requirements. Also, we had to rent some equipment and some stencils and stuff, which went really smoothly, but now I got an idea of what it's going to cost, what the rental fees are, because going into this, I didn't really do a whole lot of research on that part. I actually had somebody I thought that I could just borrow the striper from, but it wasn't working and we were unable to do that.
Gotcha. And real quick, if you guys are in any service-based business, you need software to help manage your business, send estimates, invoices, and collect payments, as well as understand all the analytics necessary to run an intelligent and healthy business. You can try Quote IQ for free. That's at myquoteiq.com. Give it a shot. Let us know what you think. And Tim, what was the final pricing and how did those numbers break down?
So we priced this out for about $2,300, just under $2,300, the original price. But after some change orders and some additions, we ended up hitting $2,800 on the final ticket. Now I spent $750 on materials, labor, and rentals, but it only took 10 hours to complete. Now my pricing, I think, was probably a little low on this one, so I'll keep adjusting the pricing more on the next one to see if if we're too high or whatever. I'd rather them tell me I'm high and have to come down a little bit, especially for this, because I don't really have the prices dialed in, and the prices I was used to, like I said, were about 16 or 17 years ago.
Okay, so now let's be real. Did you run into any other issues during that job?
So we ran into some issues with the tip on the rent that the rental place gave us for the machine. It never really worked right. The fan was kind of wonky and wobbly, and it was also very windy, so it was having trouble putting on nice, straight, even lines. Like, it would not have a straight edge. The edges were kind of wobbly. So we switched over to a newer tip and it worked, but we just had to push the machine a little slower to get the right mills, the right thickness on the lines.
That's actually really good to know. So how forgiving is striping work if you mess something up?
So we made a couple little mistakes, but the cool thing is you just block off your mistakes with black paint and try it again, which is why I think this is a good service to add to my arsenal, because I can train just about anyone to do this, and the margin for error is super small because it's easily fixed.
And obviously we all know that you've got a channel, Tim O Paints. Do you have any plans to share a full breakdown of this job anytime soon?
Now I'll do another detailed video of this job if you want. Just get this video 200 likes and I'll make a detailed follow-up video about this job. Like I'll walk through everything that we did and how it all went down.
Honestly, it really is crazy how all of this came together. Any final thoughts?
It's just crazy how the universe works, you know what I mean? So hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to, leave me a comment in the comment section. Once you guys, if you're still watching, put universe in the comment section, because it's amazing how if you just kind of put out, you get back what you put out, right? So I put out into the world, the universe, that I wanted to get more parking lot striping jobs. And through a weird chain of events, I ended up getting them.
That is a crazy story, right? And sometimes all it takes is putting the idea out there. And Tim, a big thanks to you for sharing this part of your journey. And everybody that's watching right now, if you've got any value from the video, hit that like button, drop universe in the comment section down below. Do not forget to check out myquoteiq.com if you want to try the best CRM in the world for free. Check it out. And then, of course, if you want to learn how to stripe, get How to Stripe. You can see that at howtostripe.com. And that is it. Again, appreciate you watching. Thanks to Tim, and we'll see you in the next video.